Hi, I'm Mary Dykstra, and this is my case study for AEP 850. Category 1, Problem Identification and Analysis. What I know. I know that Roosevelt High is in an affluent area. The parents are financially secure. Students have the latest fashion and technology. Dr. Forbes has been principal for 9 years, and he's been principal of the school for 2 consecutive years. He works hard to maintain his reputation as well as the school's reputation. He hires highly qualified teachers. Ms. Walker is one of those. She's in her 2nd year. She teaches the high-level courses. She has high standards and expectations. Dr. Forbes has suggested techniques for Ms. Walker to use. However, she has not implemented those techniques. What I know about Ms. Walker is that she's new, but she has her master's degree, which means she isn't right out of school young. She has a structured classroom. She teaches rigorous courses. Dr. Forbes has heard complaints from some parents. They're worried about their children's grades. The students in her course are in line for salutatorian and valedictorian, and therefore they feel intense competition for grades. Over Veterans Day weekend, Ms. Walker got an anonymous email. That directed her to a website. The website had very suggestive comments about her and mentioned having Ms. Walker disappear. Ms. Walker suspects it's a specific student who created this, and she is fearful for her safety. What I need to know is, what does the website actually say? Are there real threats on the website? What kind of discipline issues have happened at the school before? How are discipline issues handled at the school? Has Randy Franks ever misused technology before? What type of tech abuse happens with the students? How often does it occur? What's the school's acceptable use policy for technology? How do parents respond to discipline? In affluent schools, there's a lot of entitlement generally. Parents sometimes and sometimes don't hold their kids accountable. Sometimes they feel their children are above discipline. So how do the parents respond in this community? Also, how well do the school and the police interact? How often are the police involved with discipline? Does Dr. Forbes interact with the police? And why does he want to wait to deal with it until the morning? Why does Dr. Forbes feel this is a prank? Does Dr. Forbes bend to parental pressures? How well does Dr. Forbes manage relationships? What's the balance between faculty, students, and parents? How well does he support his faculty? I see the problem is that technology has been abused. Threats have been made using technology. Student involvement in the email and website is likely, and a teacher has been threatened and does not feel safe. Category 2, Plan of Action with Appropriate Strategies for Implementation. Step 1. That night, I would contact the police immediately. Schools have to take these threats seriously, whether they are a prank or not. Tell the police the school's plan for the following day. I would also email tech support immediately, and I would call or email the superintendent immediately. After that, I would call Ms. Walker back, and I would tell her that the authorities have been contacted, that tech support has been contacted, and that the superintendent has been contacted. Step 2. In the morning, the following day, I would meet with tech support and Ms. Walker. We would see if the tech can find any links to school devices and emails. We would give the tech an hour or two to dig around. Then I would meet with Ms. Walker and the police. After we meet together, I would start pulling students in one-on-one for questioning. Randy Franks would be on the list. I would pull him in. Step 2 continued. I would get the results from tech support. If Randy is involved, I would call his parents immediately, have them come in for a meeting, have the police meet with Randy and his parents and understand the severity of the situation. If there are any other students who are involved in this, I would do the same thing, meet with those parents with the police. Also, I would follow the school policy on acceptable use. I would follow the school policy on discipline. After all that, I would meet with Ms. Walker again. I would fill her in on the progress, assure her that students are being held accountable, that school policy is being followed. I would also keep the superintendent involved in all details. Step 3. After 2 days, I would follow up with Ms. Walker. I would ask her how things are going in class. I would ask her if she feels safe. I would promote a self-analysis of her teaching techniques, of her student-teacher relations. I would also involve students and parents. I would follow up with parents with a formal letter or phone call. I would also meet one-on-one with any students who have been involved in this incident. Category 3, resolve issues based on promoting academic success and personal well-being of every student. Standard 5A says, build and maintain a safe, caring, and healthy school environment that meets the academic, social, emotional, and physical needs of each student. I believe that students have to be held accountable for their behavior in order to have a safe and healthy environment. If bullying can happen to a faculty member, it can happen to anyone. Academics are compromised when people do not feel safe. Resolution Standard 8B and C. Create and sustain a positive, collaborative, and productive relationships with families in the community for the benefit of students. Engage in regular and open two-way communication with families and community about school students' needs, problems, and accomplishments. This is where I would meet with the parents involved of the students right away, and I would follow up with the parents after 2 days. I would also work with the parents for the accountability and success of the students. Standard 7B says, empower and entrust teachers and staff with collective responsibility for meeting the academic, social, emotional, and physical needs of each other pursuant to the mission, vision, and core values of the school. I would trust that Ms. Walker is rigorous and has high expectations. I would involve Ms. Walker in self-assessment based on positive reinforcement, student, teacher, and parent relations, use of self-assessment. I would use the self-assessment to encourage her to change some of her techniques. Category 4, debriefing the problem, my thoughts, feelings, and values. My first thought and feeling was anger that people abuse each other. Second, I want Ms. Walker to feel safe. Third, I want the students to be held accountable. I feel that using technology to give threats is wrong and compromises the academics of the school. Issues that are unresolved are open for further investigation. Ms. Walker needs to balance high expectations with the joy of learning. Ms. Walker's relationship with students and parents needs to be looked at. I would review the acceptable use policy and update anything that may need attention after this incident. I would investigate, again, if more students were involved. Basically, those students who might have known about this happening but did nothing. I would continue awareness and teaching of the student body on using technology. I would also look at the curriculum and make sure I know where internet safety and accountability is being taught, as well as teaching students about their digital footprint. Category 5, Standard Component 1. As a building level administrator, I promoted the academic success of every student by holding students accountable, enforcing consistent discipline, ensuring a safe environment so that students can focus on learning, students feel safe in their environment, students can rely on leadership to act justly. Category 5, Standard Component 2. As a building level administrator, I adhere to ethical principles and professional norms by ensuring the safety and faculty of students, by involving the authorities, by treating the issue with the attention that it deserved, by doing due diligence and discipline, and by following up with parents and students, and by following up with Ms. Walker. Category 5, Standard Component 3, as building level administrator, I demonstrated a personal and professional code of ethics by not being swayed by potentially powerful parents, by upholding the school policies and procedures, by acting consistently and fairly, by doing due diligence and finding the facts, by talking to as many students as necessary, and by holding accountable each and every student who was involved.